В воскресенье, 22 мая, в Мельбурне состоялись ежегодные еврейские дебаты 2016. На это событие собрались видные члены австралийского парламента, как федерального, так и штата Виктории, представители различных светских и религиозных, еврейских и христианских организаций, ведущие популярных радиопрограмм и активисты еврейской общины. Этот день проходил под лозунгом «Друзья Израиля. Путь к единству». В этой программе мы попытаемся передать вам краткий обзор прошедшего события и осветить наиболее актуальные обсуждаемые вопросы.
It's a Jewish debate because we are going to discuss the most relevant Jewish issues. The Jewish debate has a great potential in terms of uniting Jewish community, in terms of the development of Jewish self-consciousness and Jewish self-awareness. Make comments, ask questions, and make it in a polite and respectful way.
Oh, you're saying there's really a connection between what's happening in Israel and events here in Australia? Now, we all laugh at that because we understand that the same people who would like to run down police or crowds at Anzac Day are the same people who are doing that to elderly rabbis at some bus stop in Yerushalayim, the same mentality. And if you don't understand how it's all connected, you don't understand anything. The defence of Israel is indeed the defence of Australia.
We have a huge fight on our hands, and particularly within our own community as much as there is in the external community. Our schools are letting us down. Our young people, unfortunately, are being taught the political correctness, the social engineering to question Israel. And unfortunately, there's many young people that would stand up and say, isn't the IDF showing force that they shouldn't be showing when it comes to defending Israel? And the thing for me is we need to build our communities internally, number one. We need to work within our schools. We need to ensure that we've got our kids well trained.
I do support it, and I'd like to share some thoughts about Christian Zionism and its history and its influence in the world today. I'm not sure if the audience is aware, but the Christian Zionist movement was very significant, particularly in the UK in the late 18th and 19th century, and it laid the foundation actually for the establishment of Israel. I think Christian Zionism actually, in a way, as a political movement, predated Jewish political Zionism. Particularly the Protestants, they will be enormously supportive of Israel because you can't read the Bible and believe in it without accepting the principle that God loves the people of Israel.
And I'd like to acknowledge the federal member for Melbourne Ports. And Michael, if it makes any difference, I just looked at Sportsbet and what the options were between yourself and the other candidates, and while I'm sure you would appreciate and respect that I would rather a Liberal one, currently Sportsbet has you as favourite, then after you as a Green, and I will make it unambiguous that if it's a choice between you and a Green, I'm choosing you. And that's why I'm always very concerned when we see movements like the BDS movement popping up all over the world. I want to make it crystal clear that if that movement takes off in Australia, that I will be on the barricades with you all.
And I've spent some time in my past in America, and America is right now in a different place than Australia, and I'm afraid that Australia is going bit by bit after the American model, and it's like having 10 years ago. So like the internet in Australia is 10 years ago by technology, the same with the political structure of the lobbies. And I will say something that is will be very unpopular, but let Israelis decide what they want from their own country. However, supporting Israel means that we will need to divorce from all partisan politics at all. We can go extremely against the extremes. The extremes can be on the left with organizations like BDS, so-called organizations, and it can be on the right with extreme right-wing parties in Europe that are appearing, and as if we don't remember from history what means right-wing, extreme right-wing in Europe.
of what is being Jewish all about. And inevitably it leads to us to the final sort of understanding. Yes, there is God. Yes, there is a creator. Yes, this creator is the one who just happened to choose the Jewish nation as a chosen nation. And why did they choose us? Is it because we've got better skin, body, we've got blood different color? No, this is not our privilege. The privilege is that it's our responsibility. And what is our responsibility? Responsibility, the ethical responsibility, just to make this world a better place. What is our biggest threat? Unfortunately, situations when we are not united. When you see a tragedy of religious people in Israel fighting the secular people and the other way around, when one Hasidim say negative things about other Hasidim and stuff like that, I think our duty is just to stop all that and to understand one thing: we are one nation.
At the end of the day, what we can do is, I suppose we've lost our moral compass. What's our moral compass? It's the Torah. So basically, I'm not saying that everybody should become religious or Torah observant, which would be great if we did. I'm talking about Jews, of course, not Gentiles. If we return back to our roots and that divine book that was given to us by God on Mount Sinai 3,330 years ago. For example, if that was to happen, basically we'd find our moral compass again. You'd stop having clowns sitting in the Israeli Knesset, where every 20 minutes there's a new government or new politicians coming in and out as well. So I think the biggest threat to Israel is ourselves. And I think what we need to do is basically rediscover our roots and go back to what we know works and what's holy.
The biggest problem what we have in Israel and in communities like Australia and the United States, it's a lack of leadership. What we need a leadership with a vision, and only then the people will unite. Secondly, Jews through the history put a lot of money in political parties in Australia, in Israel, in America. It doesn't work. It does not work. You can put money, millions and billions, it does not work.
Despite the massive tragedy of the Holocaust and other disasters, I think assimilation is still the greatest danger for the continuity of the Jewish people, and that includes Israel as well. Now, Israel and the diaspora should be a partnership, as many people have said here today, that should be working together to create unity, to create support. And I strongly believe that we do still have to teach people about our history, our traditions, and so on. The schools do a reasonable job, the Jewish schools. But I can tell you, as somebody that worked at Mount Scopus, that excellent students in year 12 had no idea about the history of the Jews of Russia, Lithuania, and Poland, where you have a history of 800 to 1,000 years.
Because I'm a parent of 7 children, Janahora. Okay, my oldest is 18, my youngest is 2. And I believe that the best gift a parent can give their children is their time. Not money, not cars, not holidays, their time.
I'd like to take a minute of your time just to thank a few people who put this event together. It was not an easy event to put together, but from Australian Foreign and Russian-speaking Jewry, it was Rivka Pastun and Leonid Schwarzman, who did an amazingly good job, and from Russian Jews in Australia, I know Boris Sherman played an instrumental role as well. So thank you all very, very much. There are some refreshments are still there. Please enjoy them, and let's do this all again soon. Thank you.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom.